We're going to look at it. So foul there on Indiana, on hold there. But then that is a technical.
That is a technical. Dead ball, contact technical.
It's a little surprising to see so many of these happen in one game because...
Oh, and I don't like the way Lexie Hull...
Think back to the last Fever versus Lynx showdown. Remember when Kayla McBride's elbow sent Lexie Hull crashing, and somehow the foul went against her? Fast forward to this latest matchup. Hull finally got her payback, and the crowd went wild. This wasn't just a highlight reel moment. It was personal redemption and a statement about Indiana's toughness. That single play showed exactly why this team refuses to back down. Want to see Lexie get her flowers? Drop a Lexie revenge game in the comments.
Final score, Fever 83, Lynx 72. Indiana ends the regular season with an exclamation point. Fever have won 3 in a row as they enter the playoff.
Now here's the real question. How do you keep winning when nearly half your roster disappears? That's the nightmare the Fever lived through. Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, Sydney Colson, Chloe BBY, and Ari McDonald gone. One by one, injuries piled up until Indiana's depth chart looked empty. Most teams collapse under that kind of weight, but the Fever didn't fold.
I know a lot of people will talk about Nafisa not playing, but I think they're really good without her. You know, they're just a really great basketball team. So I think it was a big win for us because they set the bar high standard wise. We know what to expect when it comes to Minnesota Lynx, and so I think going into the playoffs, it was big for us because being able to know guarding Courtney Williams, knowing that her thing is a pull-up, knowing that now instead of not knowing that, it's big for us because we give ourselves a chance. And if they are the standard, we get to see where we are.
Then came the gut punch. Caitlin Clark ruled out for season. Her rookie campaign, which was supposed to redefine Indiana basketball, ended with a press release instead of a playoff run. Fans from Iowa to Indiana felt the heartbreak. Clark wasn't just a scorer or a ticket seller. She was a spark, the heartbeat of this team. Losing her could have killed the season, but instead it lit a fire.
One of the things that I've been impressed with these guys since even the offseason, really the ones that I was able to work out with in the offseason, is how hard they work. There's a work ethic and there's a work style. And to approach everything in the same way, to be so energetic, enthusiastic, and dedicated every day. And I felt that way in training camp too. There weren't any days where I had to bring that out of them. So I think it's the nature of the women that we've brought into this organization to continue to just bust their butts and play hard.
That fire had a name, Kelsey Mitchell. She didn't just step up, she transformed. Night after night, Mitchell carried the load, averaging over 20 points per game while breaking franchise records. Defenses knew she was a target, doubled her, schemed against her, and still couldn't stop her. She became the lifeline that kept Indiana alive when hope should have died.
Kind of all the other things like offensive rebounding that she can do.
Knocked away. Boston comes up with a steal. Here's Mitchell veering through the paint and lays it in.
She's so quick, and especially when she gets out in the open floor, you'll see her coming down. The quick left to right crossover just gets by. I thought she was sprinting. I didn't think she was lumbering.
It was a lumber sprint.
Up for the big girl.
Mitchell like a blur.
On the other end, Aaliyah Boston became the anchor. Her steady 15 points and 8+ rebounds a game weren't just numbers. They were survival. She dominated the paint, broke the team's single-season rebounding record, and gave the Fever stability they desperately needed. No matter how chaotic lineups got, Boston was a foundation.
Only 8 teams have ever done that. 7 of them went on to win the title. As Boston gets free and lays it in.
She will be on my first team.
Boston in the paint, sneaks through 2 and lays it in.
So, after all that, should this team still be dreaming about the playoffs? Logically, no. But Indiana doesn't care about logic. Every injury, every setback, every questionable whistle, they turn it all into fuel. Role players became starters. Hardship signings turned into heroes. And suddenly, the Fever weren't just surviving. They were thriving.
Fever dub with the MVP, okay? Bow, bow, bow! Hell yeah. You already know what it is. Dubs in the check, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Let's go to the playoffs with some momentum, baby.
That's what made the Minnesota game so emotional. This wasn't just another matchup. It was Indiana proving they belonged in the playoff conversation. The Lynx have been one of the league's top teams all year, but the Fever came in with something to prove. Already locked into the postseason, they weren't just happy to be there. They wanted to climb, to steal that 6th seed, and to show they could hang with anyone.
Before the playoffs start Sunday tonight, it's regular season game 44 of 44 for the Fever as they host the WNBA's best team in 2025, the Minnesota Lynx.
Remember, just a few weeks ago, the same team had dropped 4-5. Fans started doubting. The media questioned their future without Clark. But instead of crashing, Indiana flipped the script. 3 straight wins later, they walked into the Lynx game with swagger. This wasn't a just survive squad anymore. This was a team reborn.
It'll be Alana Smith jumping it up against Aaliyah Boston. The ball is tipped, and it's time to hoop at Indy.
A 10-0 run to start this game for Indiana, and Minnesota wants a timeout.
Powers up top, tees it up, 3. It's good! Energy!
Kicks it out, Powers. You bet! Back-to-back threes from Ariel Powers.
The Fever double up the Lynx in the first quarter. It's Indiana 28, Minnesota 14.
And from the opening tip, they set the tone. A 10-0 run to start the game? That wasn't luck, it was intent. By halftime, they had a double-digit lead, and Minnesota never got comfortable. Cold shooting and relentless Fever defense kept the Lynx out of rhythm. 2 makes on 23-point attempts. Indiana didn't just beat them, they shut them down.
Indiana is 4 for 4 from 3-point range. Mitchell connects on a 3. Sims leaning jumper is good.
Kelsey driving left, puts it in off the backboard.
We'll do it for the first half. Indiana shoots 58% from the floor.
The heroes? Unlikely names. Odyssey Sims, signed as a temporary body not long ago, dropped 15 points off the bench and looked like she'd been waiting her whole career for this chance. Ariel Powers hit back-to-back threes at the perfect moment, stopping Minnesota's comeback dead in its tracks. 6 points? No, that was the dagger that sealed the night.
She was messy, and she's on your team, you love her, and if she's on the other team, she's just annoying. Like you just gets in it, and I rip the ball out of Smith's hands and just end the effort.
And then there was Lexie Hull, her defense, her hustle, and that iconic crossover revenge on McBride. It wasn't just a highlight, it was a symbol. Just like Indiana, she was underestimated, written off, even punished unfairly before. But when the lights got brightest, she rose. That moment summed up the entire Fever season. Resilience, grit, and a refusal to fold. Now, with their first winning record in nearly a decade, Indiana heads into the playoffs with momentum, belief, and a fan base fired up. This isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning. SO if you're rocking with the Fever and ready for this playoff run. Drop Fired Up for the Fever in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the journey. Let's ride.